Throughout my life, I've always engaged in these activities that are always pretty dangerous. So in high school and all through middle school, I played ice hockey. So at the peak of my career, at about age 17, I was getting beat up on a bi-weekly basis without the ability to really fight back. But I still really loved hockey. Some of the best experiences from my life are all about ice hockey, and some of my best friends are from hockey. So I have always all these great memories. My new passion is rock climbing. It's the coolest thing ever. There's a gym right by my work, and I leave work and I go climbing, and it's great because all the stresses from work just kind of dissipate, and you don't worry about your dog or your bills or anything else, and you're just solely focused on what you're doing right then. It's like you have to have this focus, and you have to stay in that bubble of focus, or else there can be some serious implications. Rock climbing is kind of a funny sport. The main demographic of people who climb are tree-hugging hippies, and rock climbing lends itself to that because you got to go outside. It can be really spiritual, and mostly tree-hugging hippies love nature and they're in touch with nature, and they're all great. But it's not just tree-hugging hippies. Like I know some business people, some lawyers who climb. I work in an investment firm, so my job is pretty mundane, so climbing can be really exciting. Climbing is also really interesting because it's not uncommon to walk into a climbing gym and see a group of men with their shirts off just hanging out climbing. Really, I'm pretty convinced that there's two types of climbers out there. There are shirt taker offers and there are non-shirt taker offers. And I bet you guys can guess which one I am. I took my girlfriend to a party where there was a group of rock climbers, right? And my girlfriend Jen, she doesn't climb, but I was like, hey, are you having a good time? She's like, yeah, you guys all have one thing in common. I'm like, oh yeah, what's that? She's like, you guys all have great hair. So apparently climbers all have great hair. There's a lot of different styles of climbing. My current drug of choice is called sport climbing, and that's when there's you and another guy who's the belayer. One person is climbing, the belayer is on the ground feeding you rope. You guys are both attached by a rope, you're wearing harnesses, and as the climber goes up higher and higher and higher, they have to place their rope through a carabiner that's also attached to the wall. So the really fun thing about this is if you fall, you're going to fall pretty far, so it can get dangerous and scary pretty quickly. And you really have to learn to control your fear, and that's what it's all about. And that's another reason why I love climbing, because you're really turning what I kind of think is the uncontrolled into the controlled. So one day I'm climbing with my buddy. He's a really experienced climber, and he's belaying me on the ground. And I'm climbing up, and I consider myself pretty experienced. So I'm doing a pretty hard climbing route. And I get to the hardest part of the problem, which is usually at the top. And I think okay, I need to really conserve my energy, and I'm in my bubble of focus, so I'm not thinking about how high I am, I'm just thinking about getting through these moves so I can get to the top and be lowered to the ground. So at the hardest part of the route, which is kind of near the top, I decide I'm not going to put my rope through the protection, and I'm just going to keep going, I'm just going to conserve my energy. So that's what I do, and I get through the hardest part of the problem, and I'm really excited about it, I'm super psyched. And I get to the top, and I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, I fall, and I don't know what happened, and I just fall, and all of a sudden, I'm about 40 feet in the air, and all of a sudden, I'm about a foot away from the ground. And it happened so fast that I had no time to think. You don't even know that you're falling when it's happening. But I look down, and all of a sudden, I'm a foot away from the ground, and I just have this adrenaline rush of fear that just clinches my feet and just works its way and just grabs my heart. And I don't know what to do. I start sweating. I start breathing heavily. Well, the belayer lowers me to the ground, and I take off my harness, and I do the most cliche thing when something like that happens. I run to my cell phone, I call my girlfriend, and I tell her I love her and I'm safe, because she always worries about me, and with good reason, of course. I still climb, and like I said, I love it. It's my favorite activity. It's my focus. away from work, and I'm not going to stop, but I will keep putting myself in dangerous situations where there could be potentially deathly consequences. Because for me in my life, I need to be teetering on that brink of death to feel like I'm most alive. Thanks.